Let's see if I can get through this video sounding like I do actually know what I'm talking about. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor. I am a 24-year-old graduate student living in New York City, currently studying nutrition education at Columbia. Today I wanted to do a sit-down video. I have yet to do one on my channel, talking all about eating healthy on a budget. Being a grad student, I came straight from undergrad to grad school. I never worked professionally and made any sort of real money. I've only worked part-time student jobs my whole life, essentially. So I am always trying to find really budget-friendly ways to make sure I'm still eating healthy, still fueling my body, and eating foods that I enjoy. Quick disclaimer, I kind of created all of these little tips, from past resources from my past programs and just what works for me. And I also use examples of stores like Target and Costco and Amazon Fresh, all stores that are relevant to me. Prices in the city are notoriously high for everything, including groceries. My pricing might be different from your pricing depending on where you are in the country or in the world. However, these principles can be applicable to other areas in the country as well. So let's just jump right in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 tips. I should probably have 10. The first tip I have for you guys is to stock up on pantry items. Now, this can be anything considered non-perishable, from grains, pastas, beans, baking ingredients, almond flour, anything that's non-perishable and will not expire. They last for a very long time compared to fresh fruits and vegetables and meat and anything else that you buy that has an expiration date. I feel like I'm always buying like a thing of milk. The expiration date says it's supposed to go bad in 2 days, and I'm like, well, that's just not fair. The great thing about stocking up on these dry ingredients, these pantry items, is that they always make great additions to anything you're cooking. You could add some lentils or quinoa to a salad, or you can throw small pasta in a soup. You can just have these things on hand and they don't go bad. Kind of segues into my next point. Tip number 2, buy these non-perishables in bulk. Now, I know this is a harped on type of tip. I know everyone's been saying this, but there's a reason people tell you to do this, and it's true. Now, granted, I'm a young single adult. I'm not in need of feeding large amounts of people. I just cook for myself. I do live with other roommates, but I cook and shop for myself. But this tip still applies to me because these are things that don't go bad. So it's okay to have mass quantities of them. So I'm talking again, your grains, your pastas, your canned produce, oats, barley, farro, quinoa, rice, just to name a few. They won't spoil. It saves you trips to the store. It's also oftentimes more environmentally friendly because there's just less individual packaging happening. It's just all in one. And the reason why people tell you to buy in bulk is because the product is less expensive per unit. So I wanted to do some research and give you guys real examples. When you get peanut butter from Costco, it's just the Jif brand. They give you 2 48-ounce size containers of peanut butter. This is a lot of peanut butter. These are the large containers, and I totally get why this might be a little intimidating if you just need a jar of peanut butter for yourself. However, there's math behind this. I am not good at math at all, but this is the kind of math I know how to do. When you break it down, you want to know how much you're paying per ounce. So when you're getting these 2 48-ounce jars of peanut butter, you're actually only paying 11 cents per ounce. Whereas comparatively, a normal size 16-ounce jar of peanut butter that I feel like most people get when they're at the store, you're actually paying 16 cents per ounce. So you're saving 5 cents an ounce. That doesn't sound like a lot. That does add up if you're out here trying to ball on a budget. Another example I wanted to give you guys was for quinoa, just a grain, another non-perishable item that you could purchase in bulk and just have on hand for long periods of time. I compared Costco's Kirkland brand to Target's generic brand just to kind of keep the product somewhat similar. At Costco, you can get a 4.5-pound bag of quinoa for $10.99, which is crazy, and 4.5 pounds of quinoa is a lot of quinoa. 4.5 pounds is 72 ounces, 1 pound is 16 ounces. Just a little quick tip. You're paying 15 cents per ounce of quinoa. When you buy a 48-ounce bag of quinoa from Target, you're actually paying 33 cents per ounce. That's a pretty big difference between 15 cents to 33 cents. It all adds up. These are the tiny things in your life that you can do to just kind of save those extra few cents, to save a couple dollars. I totally get not everyone has memberships to these large bulk selling stores, but in general, it's usually just a little bit more budget friendly to get a larger sized item compared to the smaller size. Even if you're in Walmart or you're in Target and you see the small peanut butter and the large peanut butter, even though the listed price of the larger jar is more expensive than the smaller one, you're getting more product and you're also usually saving money per ounce or per whatever unit they're using for that product. I've said it 1,000 times in videos before, buy frozen fruits and vegetables. People are so scared of frozen fruits and vegetables. There is this huge misconception that they are less healthy, less nutritious. It's a big fat no. What's the deal with them then? I'm sure you are wondering. So frozen fruits and vegetables are picked at their peak ripeness, which means they are picked at their optimal nutritional density. They're then frozen, usually immediately or very soon after being picked, which then conserves those nutrients. When you're buying frozen fruits and vegetables, you're helping your body out and getting the most out of that fruit or vegetable. Not only is it optimal nutrition density, but you're also saving yourself money because they're not going to spoil. You can have bags of frozen peas and carrots in your freezer for years. The power of the freezer was truly changing in the food industry. It changed the game for everything. My roommates and I find frozen bags of fruits and vegetables all the time in the very back of our freezer, and it's always like a little treat because you didn't really remember that it was there, but you can still use it. It hasn't gone bad because it's frozen. It won't spoil. You don't have to repurchase the fruit or vegetable each week. Because of it, it lasts forever. If you can buy these things in bulk, I recommend doing that as well. Frozen vegetables can be used for an abundance of things. You can throw them in some stir fries. You can put them in soups. You can make a pasta with it. There's so many things to do with frozen vegetables. And then frozen fruits are incredible for making smoothies. You can put them in some overnight oats. You can just thaw them and eat them on their own. I want to do another quick comparison for you, and I chose broccoli to do it. I'm going to compare a frozen bag of broccoli florets from Target to a bag of just normal broccoli florets from Target as well. So they're both 12 ounces, so they're the same weight. You're getting the same amount of product. And the normal bag of broccoli florets is $2.99, while the frozen one is $2.49. So you are saving almost 50 cents there on that. If you prefer fresh broccoli, if you prefer anything fresh as opposed to frozen, that's fine. Buy seasonal. Now, this is something even myself, I don't always do. I try my best to, but especially with the pandemic, I'm not going to farmers markets. I'm not going to fresh markets to get local produce. I try to do my best, but sometimes it's tough. I'm only human. You're only human. There's two big reasons why you should buy in season. One, the flavor. When things are in season, that's when they're at their peak nutrient density as well, and they have the best flavor. You don't want to be buying a summer fruit in the winter because it's just not the same as when it's supposed to be in summer because it's a summer fruit. The other thing is the environmental impact of non-seasonal produce. So produce that is not in season that you're getting at your local grocery store is often transported from far distances that can grow that produce in their season, whatever their weather may be. New York State can't grow oranges because we have winter, so they got to come from those warm places that are growing oranges, and that creates an environmental impact. That creates a carbon footprint. You got to have the transportation, you got to grow it, you got to do all that stuff. It just gets messy. Now here's the thing, I like an orange in the winter too. This is not a do or die kind of thing, but it is a small thing to keep in mind. If you can buy seasonal, you should buy seasonal. I also just wanted to insert a clip of what is in season now. Now this is totally region dependent, wherever you are in the country. Tip number 5 is to buy foods in their whole version. Buy foods as they naturally come. I know it looks really tempting to buy that pre-diced onion or those pre-cubed sweet potatoes. Trust me, I've been there, I've done it myself, but I'm telling you now, you save so much more money if you just buy the onion and dice it yourself, or buy the potato and cube it yourself. Essentially, what you're doing is paying for the convenience of someone already doing it for you, which, you know, if that's what you want to do, that is fine. Like, do you? People are busy, people have other things going on. If you're looking to save yourself a little extra cash, just do it yourself. I'm gonna use broccoli as another example. I'm gonna compare just a head of broccoli from Target to the 12-ounce bag of pre-chopped broccoli florets. So as I mentioned, the pre-cut bag of broccoli florets is 12 ounces, and that is $2.99 at Target, and that is their generic brand as well. But when you buy just a normal head of broccoli, it's only $1.89. You're saving yourself almost an entire dollar to just cut the broccoli florets yourself. This is even from the Green Giant brand. I didn't go into Target and go see what they're pricing their actual head of broccoli. It might even be cheaper than that because Green Giant is, a bigger brand name. So if you aren't in a rush, just buy the foods in their whole forms. You're gonna end up saving yourself a little extra money doing so. Use leftovers. So when I say use leftovers, I mean it in two ways. For example, at Thanksgiving, if you had a bunch of roasted vegetables and they were just not all consumed, you have a bunch left, throw them in a stir fry, throw them in a soup. Don't just throw them out. You can repurpose leftovers in so many different ways. If you had too many beans, you could make black bean brownies. You have avocados that are about to go bad and you don't want to use them anymore, put them in an avocado chocolate mousse. There's ways to use those types of leftovers. And then my other thing with using leftovers is if you make a large quantity of something, you can just eat it throughout the week, or you can freeze it if you want to use it later. One example I like to use is I make these little egg muffins, sometimes as like a meal prep kind of situation. I just scramble some eggs in a bowl, put a bunch of veggies in there, season it, and then I bake them in little silicone cupcake tins for like a couple minutes. And then I just have these egg muffins throughout the week. And if I'm not going to use them, or if I made too much and I'm not going to use them that week, I'll just freeze them. Freezing eggs is somewhat weird. I totally get it, but this is just an example. Another great example is when you make a lasagna. You can make a veggie lasagna, or you can make a healthy casserole of some sort. If you make things in these large quantities and you just don't get through the whole entire thing, you can always just freeze it if you're not going to use it, and then you have leftover food for however long because it's frozen. A very common tip that you'll hear when you want to save money and eat healthy on a budget is to plan your meals. Now, this is something that I did not do for my whole entire life in nutrition. This is something I actually started to do more so right before the pandemic hit. Back in the day, I used to just go to Trader Joe's and I would just buy a bunch of different things that were more versatile. Like I'd just get a lot of fruits and vegetables. The vegetables I could throw in like a pasta, or I can make like a stir fry. I just like to get more general things that I could use them in a bunch of different ways. I found that I was wasting stuff if I bought a bunch of mushrooms and I only used them like twice for 2 different recipes, and then the next week they were bad, and I just found I was wasting a lot of food that way. I started being more conscious of planning my meals, and honestly, I don't think I'll ever go back. I pick 2 or 3 recipes for my dinners of the week, and I do the same with my breakfasts and lunches as well. When you plan your meals, you are helping to reduce food waste. You're essentially helping yourself guarantee that you'll be using that food item that you bought because you have it planned for the meals that week. When I look up these recipes for my dinners that week or my lunches, I love to just look at classic Pinterest. They've always got good recipes on there. HelloFresh's website has the recipes for free without you having to purchase the actual subscription. I just look at registered dietitians' food blogs. If you're comfortable cooking in the kitchen, there's endless opportunities for you out there on the internet. Make sure you stick to your grocery list. When you plan your meals and you make a grocery list from what you're planning, you're gonna be more likely to not add additional items to your cart when you're at the grocery store. You also wanna make sure you kind of stick to the perimeter of the grocery store. The way grocery stores are designed, they're so clever. I could do a whole video about marketing in grocery stores and grocery store layout to kind of trick you as a consumer. That's a separate rabbit hole that I'm just not gonna go down today. But essentially the way grocery stores are designed is on the perimeters is the fresh fruits and vegetables, and then in the middle is where you get to your more processed foods, pre-prepared foods. So when you stick to the outside and you get all the ingredients that you need, you're gonna get more fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh meat, all that kind of good stuff. Then you're gonna be more satisfied and you're gonna have more of what you need. And then when you go into the center of the grocery store, you're really less tempted to get more additional add-on items. Make a grocery list, stick to it, stay on the perimeter of the store as long as you can, and you should be pretty good. One of my all-time favorite tips is to buy generic brands. I know it's super tempting when you go to a grocery store and you see their version of a product, for example, their boxed mac and cheese and then Kraft, and you're just like, but there's nothing like Kraft. I get it, I've been there. However, you're always paying more for that brand name. And oftentimes the generic brands are just as good as the name brand. They're usually the same quality as the more expensive brands. So you're really just saving yourself a couple cents that'll eventually add up in the long run. So some very popular examples are Up and Up from Target or their Good and Gather food brands. Trader Joe's is notoriously inexpensive because all of their products are their own. They don't sell name brand items. They only sell Trader Joe's products, which is why they're able to price them so low. Amazon Fresh has their own generic brand now. It's called Happy Belly. You have Walmart Great Value, you have Costco Kirkland, Aldi Simply Nature. The list goes on and on and on. So don't be scared of generic products. Don't think just because it's less expensive, it's poorer quality. It's usually just as good and less expensive. So it's a win-win for everyone. I'm gonna give you guys some examples because, you know, I wanna prove to you what I'm saying is true. We're gonna take broccoli out of the picture and we're gonna bring black beans to the floor. Amazon Fresh's Happy Belly black beans for a 15-ounce can are priced at 84 cents. But then when you get the Bush's black beans 15-ounce can, it's priced at $1.19. Now, $1.19 and 84 cents might not seem that different. If you are just a die-hard Bush's fan, go for it. But if it's something that, you know, you're not as particular or picky about, just get the generic version. It's less expensive and usually gonna be just the same quality. Another prime example is Greek yogurt. The Target Good and Gather Greek yogurt. It's a non-fat plain Greek yogurt, 32 ounces, is priced at $4.29. And then if you wanna buy the same type of yogurt, same size at Target, but wanna get the name brand, Chobani is priced at $5.69. So there's some products where you can see there is a major difference in the price. $4.29 and $5.69 are significantly different. You're saving over $1 in that case for just the generic brand of Greek yogurt. If I had to tell you a 10 tip to eating healthy on a budget, I would just tell you to do what makes you happy. As tacky and corny as that sounds, food and nutrition is something that is very specific to each person. Do whatever you want to do, what makes you happy. You're only gonna sustain healthy habits as long as it's specific to your needs and something that you actually enjoy. Like I said, if you like Chobani Greek yogurt more than just the generic brand, then get the Chobani yogurt. That's okay. You can save money in other areas. Just get the Chobani. I'd rather you get the Chobani than just not get it at all and then you don't have that extra protein. Nutrition is all about what works best for you. That's how kind of my philosophy working and studying in the field of nutrition. Do what you want to do what makes you happy. Just kidding, I actually thought of a real 10th tip. Bring your reusable bags to the grocery stores, people. At Target, they charge you 5 cents for their reusable bag, which, you know, is really not that bad, but you know, what if you had a huge grocery haul and you're like, crap, I forgot my grocery bags? You know, just save yourself the hassle. Just keep your bags in your car. Or for me, I like to keep a reusable grocery bag right by my purse so I know to just grab it, or I'm just reminded to grab it if I'm going somewhere where I know I'm gonna need one. You're saving your money, you're saving the environment, and you're just, you know, overall being a good human being. So those are my 10-ish tips to eating healthy on a budget. This is something I'm super passionate about. I don't want nutrition to be hard for people. It doesn't have to be hard. Eating healthy does not have to be a hassle. It doesn't have to be more expensive. It can be very budget friendly if you just have the right tools and knowledge to do so. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was actually really fun to do a different style video that's not a vlog. As much as I love my vlogs, I do also want to make sure this channel has some nutrition content because I have all this knowledge and I just want to share it with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe down below, leave a comment, give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in my next video.